This is Lacey Rice talking to Kentucky State University men's basketball head coach Jamaal Jackson. It is Coach Jackson's first year at the helm at Kentucky State University, and he just had a big win tonight over Central State University at Kentucky State's annual mini homecoming. They beat Central State 86-81 to improve in the conference as well as overall. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm good.
Good.
Excellent right now.
So it was a big win tonight, and you are actually a former player and assistant coach here at Kentucky State. Mm-hmm. So you've actually been through all this on the floor.
I know what it all means. I know what it all means.
Okay. Your players, a lot. You have quite a few returners, so they know how big a game this is too. Mm-hmm. And you actually took a big L up at Central State earlier this year, so now you've avenged that loss.
Right. Reggie Breeden, who's really our glue guy. He was our second leading scorer, second leading rebounder. Mm-hmm. He went down early in that game, and it just took the air out of everybody. So that was a real abnormal game for us, and he tore his ACL that game. But whether you lose by one or 40, a loss is a loss, and we were able to move on after that game and keep working to get better.
Okay, all right. You actually were hired on kind of late in the year, and so you weren't afforded the opportunity to go out and recruit like other coaches who you're actually coaching against right now. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of you started coaching from behind this season. How do you feel about where your team is at this particular point?
Well, like I said, we're getting better every day. We practice to improve, and we're doing that. So hopefully we keep playing well going into these final conference games and into the conference tournament. Okay,
all right. You also had some other very talented players in the conference. You have Malcolm Smith, who came into the game leading the conference in scoring, as well as Dorian Jordan, who I'm pretty sure was leading the conference in assists again. Where's he at in the nation? Because I believe, I know at one point he led the nation in assists last year.
The last I checked was back in early January, and he was like 7th in the nation in assists.
Okay.
So I'm not sure where he is now.
Okay. Well, tonight he had 13 assists to go along with his 19 points, which means he pretty much accounted for 45 points tonight, which is actually up from during the season he accounts for 30. Coming into tonight's game, he was accounting for 31 points per game. So that he came through big time because, like you said, you've lost Mr.
Really,
Breeden for the rest of the year.
There's more points than that because you got to count when he hits guys for 3-pointers and when he hits guys and they get fouled and make the free throws. So
right.
He's doing a lot for us.
Right.
He's doing a lot for us.
Right. And Mr. Smith did not have one of his typical games, but then you had Julius Barton, who's a double-figure scorer, coming in averaging 14 points a game. He scored 24 points tonight. And then Mr. Rose, he also scored 20 points tonight. Mm-hmm. So I guess some of those guys kind of picked up the slack from Reginald Breeden going down.
Yeah, they like I said, the game he got hurt, which was a Central State game up there, we were kind of shell shocked that game. But we played there on the Saturday. We had a 6 days off, so we were able to get it together and understand he's done. We still had to work to get better and this next man up. He's still with us. He's still in the guy's ears, and he's still very verbal. So he's still with us. He's just not on the court.
Okay, all right. Mr. Barton, he went 10 for 11 tonight, and I've seen him play quite a few times. Mostly last year. I know last year in earlier games he seemed kind of tentative, but then in later games where I saw him, he seemed like he was very assertive. No, I hadn't seen anybody who could stop him, and that even included tonight. He seemed very energized, had quite a few dunks tonight, and it didn't seem like Central State could handle him at all.
This is he's a senior. Was his last Central State game, and his college career is winding down. So he wants to make the most of it, and he knows where his bread is buttered. If he runs that floor like he can do, he'll know. We have a great point guard like Jordan, who's going to be unselfish and get him the ball. The guys want him to do well. Julius is a good teammate, a great friend. So the guys want him to do well, and they know if he plays like he's capable of, we have a great chance of winning.
Right. Okay. And let's say Mr. Rose, can you talk a bit about him?
Shaq was a walk-on. He tried out for the team early September, made the team. Actually, when I got a job in July, he came to me 1 or 2 days after I got here and said he wanted to play. I said, all right, just a lot of guys came to me over the summer, so I was just like, okay, just come to tryouts. Well, postman tryouts will be just show up, and he was persistent. He showed up, and he provides a spark off the bench. Every game he plays, he just improves. So he's just getting better and better. And this is a night he really helped us win. But he provides positive energy off that bench. Even when he's on the bench, he provides positive energy, and he's one of the guys who found his niche, and he's just in himself. That's just what he does, and that's exactly what we need.
Okay. And said you had some other guys that played really well as well. Michael Cross, he actually tied with Mr. Rose for the rebounds. Both of them had 8 rebounds to lead the team, and he also scored in double figures. Can you say something about him as well?
Yeah, Mike is another senior like Julius, so this was his last Central State night, and when Reggie went down, we inserted Mike into the lineup. He's a deadly shooter, He's athletic, and tonight you saw that with him going after those rebounds. He didn't shoot it great, but the guys, every time he leaves his hand, everybody thinks it's going in. But he had an excellent game with those eight rebounds, and having other guys like that, him and Julius and Malcolm, that really means a lot.
And well, actually, it seemed like even though Malcolm Smith was off tonight, he contributed other ways, because the defense was very, very good, especially early on. Even though Central State went into halftime with a lead, it was just still a 2-point lead, because I believe your guys got out to a very quick start. Central State fought back, had that 2-point lead, and then it went back and forth early in the second half. And actually, I mean, it seemed like all the way through, it almost seemed like whoever had the ball last was the one who was going to have the chance of winning, but your guys actually started opening up a lead late in the game.
Late in that, we came out with that run in the first half, and then, we kind of got stagnated by that zone. We weren't attacking like we should have been. We settled for a lot of jump shots, but at halftime we talked about, I don't care zone or man to man. We talk about attacking the nail, which is getting the ball to the paint. And we know once we get paint touches, it opens up for everything. Dorian is a guy who can pull up there in the paint. We throw it down to Julius, he can do some things, or Dorian gets it down into the paint and kicks out to the 2 or 3 shooters that we have on the floor. So we know we're very confident that if we get the ball to the paint, we'll get something great out of that possession.
Right. Well, you mentioned them settling, and I know Dorian took quite a few jump shots in that first half that weren't going in, but then there was a stretch in the second half. It was like Central State could not stop him. It was like almost everything he put up went in. And so, that was, I think, I don't know if you might agree with this or not, but I think that's actually what really got your guys the momentum in the game, was when he actually caught fire in that second half.
I think that did, and even before that, we had some stops there midway through the second half, like 3 or 4 stops in a row, and then he started scoring. So, it didn't surprise him. We see it. It didn't surprise us. We see it every day from him. So we know it's going to happen. I think he was 1 of 9 or 1 for 8 in the first half, but nobody. We know what he can do. So that didn't surprise us. It just came when it came, a little bit later in the game.
Right. Okay. Your guys also had 6 steals in the game and 18 assists, which is a high total, especially for college. Of course, 13 of those came from Mr. Jordan. But as far as 3-pointers, also your guys actually outscored, or they had 2 more 3-pointers than Central State had. Is the 3-pointer really a staple of your team, or is that something that sometimes you might tell them to shy away from it, or?
Oh no, we shoot every day. They make 50 every day. So even when we started in August with individual workouts, we were shooting a lot of threes, and we'll have Malcolm, Mike, and Shake Rose out on the floor at the same time. Those are our shooters, and now the last 2 or 3 weeks, we finally got Dorian to start shooting threes. So if you have 3-point shooters, they just spreads the floor, and like we said, Dorian nobody can really stay in front of him, and so they have to sag back off of him. So now if he's knocking down the 3 ball, we're a very hard team to stop.
Right. Yeah, because I believe it was last year. It was Dorian, and you had another guy that was about 5'7" or 5'6" last year.
Probably referring to Tristan Ford.
Right. And when they played University of Kentucky, in the preseason game, Kentucky really couldn't stop him, and Coach Calipari actually alluded to that he was glad that his team played that game because it exposed a weakness that they had, which pretty much UK had that weakness all last year. If you were a very fast guard, they really couldn't stop you, even with the stars that they had. But your guys, the guys from Kentucky State, they were getting to the rim. It was just a problem of finishing when you're going to the rim against guys who are 6'10" and 7 feet. And he also mentioned that K-State's guys probably weren't used to that type of height.
Right.
So, but as far as the other guys on the team, what kind of energy was there on that bench tonight?
They were into the game. They know what it is. It's Central State. It's a rivalry game, and we're also playing for seeding in the tournament. We're in second place. Where Lane is in first, and we can't reach them. But shoot, from second to sixth, we're all clumped up. So we're still playing to win and playing for seeding in the tournament. So everybody's into the game. Everybody's ready. And with go down the lane, and then we have Lemoyne and Spring Hill here. So with 3 more conference games left, they're all very important.
Okay. Now you came over from Bluefield State University in West Virginia, I believe, or did you come from the one in Virginia?
West Virginia. Bluefield State College is West Virginia, and Bluefield College is Virginia.
Okay. And so, are there glaring differences as far as coaching there and coaching here?
You coach to win. Obviously here I'm gonna be able to get some a different kind of player, but we have more resources here.
Right.
I don't know if you're familiar with Bluefield State College, but we had probably 1.5 tuition waivers to offer. There's no dorms there. There's no on-campus cafeteria.
Okay.
The guys all stayed off campus. Right. So plus we're down in the cold fields of West Virginia. Right. So and we were independent. My first 2 years there, we were in the conference, but my last 3, we were independent. So we had a little bit more trouble getting the caliber of players we went into there, but we still were able to improve the win total every year. And you just recruit the best players you can, and you coach them up, and you coach to win. Whether you're Bluefield State College or here or at Kentucky. Right. So it's a little bit different here. This is home for me, so I can share with some recruits and things what this place did for me. We have a beautiful campus, great facility, great people work here, and we have an excellent staff. Okay. Well, talking about your staff, can you tell us a bit about some of your assistant coaches? Well, right now it's just myself and Coach Smith, but he was Sean Smith was with me at Bluefield State College for 2 seasons. And the way I got in touch with him, I was intern at Ohio State with Coach Jim O'Brien for 1 year. Okay. The 98-99 season, and Sean played at Ohio State after I left. So when I posted the job at Bluefield State, I saw his resume. Gave Coach O'Brien a call, and he gave him an excellent reference. Okay. So Coach O'Brien's somebody I hold in high esteem, and he held Shine in high esteem, and he came down and worked camp that summer, and he did a great job. He did a great job at Bluefield State. He does an excellent job here.
Okay. And you've you just mentioned Ohio State and Coach O'Brien. While you were here at Kentucky State, I believe you coached under Winston Bennett.
I was under Coach Bennett and Coach Patterson.
Right, and didn't you win? Now, were you?
I was a manager. I was a manager. That first year, we won the conference tournament.
Okay,
in,
all right.
2001.
Okay.
And then I ended up being a student assistant coach, and going from there. No, actually, before I was a student assistant coach, I ended up playing. And then I was a student assistant coach and then assistant coach.
Okay.
So I've worn every hat that you can in the basketball program.
Right. Okay. Which I believe you're probably the only person who can honestly say that.
Yeah. I remember when I was playing, I'll be I'll be doing the scouting reports.
Right.
So I'll be watching film, doing the scouting reports as a player, and then going out and practicing. So the games I was able to get in, I knew exactly what they'd be doing.
Okay. We can only assume that you did learn a lot from Coach Bennett and from Coach Patterson.
I owe a lot to those. I learned a lot from both of them, and I owe a lot to those guys.
Okay. Now, as far as like I said, unfortunately for you, you ended up getting here kind of late. Have you been able to, now since you're in the position and have started establishing yourself with the guys and everything else, have you been able to start taking advantage of maybe contacting recruits now that you're looking at?
Shoot, I got the job July 5th. July 5th we started recruiting, so we hit the ground running. We're gonna have a good class coming in, and even with these returners, I let them know off the bat. I don't want to hear this talk about people talk about once you get your players in, and I'm the coach, you're my players. Right. So the first thing was building a relationship with those guys. They've been through a lot. You got to think they've had 3 coaches in 8-9 months. Right. So they don't know what's going on. Right. So this is important to meet each individual wherever they are, and then bring them where you want them to bring them to. Right. So building a relationship with those returners and let them know you're my guy. You're my guy. I don't care if I recruited you or not. I'm coaching now. Right.
And that definitely had to be very hard on most of all the returners having to go through a coaching carousel like that, because that even though we know in collegiate athletics, today coaches just don't last generally for 20, 30 years anymore. But to have to go through that many coaches within one academic year, I can't really think of too many programs I've ever heard of having to do that.
It was tough. I'm sure it was tough for him, but it says a lot about Kentucky State University as a whole, because a lot of those guys, some of those guys had other offers. They could have transferred out of here. I think the coach was let go late February. I didn't get here until July, so that's 4 months. They had offers. They had a lot of coaches trying to get them, but they stayed here, and that says a lot about how great of a school Kentucky State University is. Right. They chose to stay and wait it out and wait for a coach.
Right. Okay. And so now that you're here and you got the guys here, we can just assume that they've really started taking to your system now, and that your relationship with them has really started gelling to be very solid right now.
Oh yeah. We was one thing we run a spread wide open offense. We push the ball, so the guys like playing that style anyway. So it's a little easier to get them to adapt. And we play fast. I tell guys, if I put you on the floor, you can get it done. I have supreme confidence in you. So they play pretty freely and with a lot of confidence if they're out there because they know I have faith in them.
Right.
And I think as it's mid-February now, we're getting into conference tournament time. So if we keep improving like we've been trying to do since day one, I think we'll be in good shape.
Okay. And so you said right now your guys are like sitting around second place in the conference.
Right. Well, actually,
I'm not
third
in the conference, but in your section.
In our division, we were third at 6-7. Now we're 7-7, and Miles was 5-5. So because their percentage was higher, they were second. We were third, but now we're 500. And Miles, I think they won on a buzzer beater today. So now they're 6-5. So they're still second, and we're third.
Okay.
So we have 3 more conference games. I guess they have 4 or 5. So we just got to take care of our business.
Right.
We still had a chance. Lane was up here 2 weeks ago. We lost to them in double overtime by 1 or 2 points. Lost down at Lemoyne in overtime. We still had a chance. We were still in the running to win the division, but now we're too many games out behind Lane to do that. So we just got to take care of business with these last 3 conference games to put ourselves in a good position for this tournament.
Okay. So are any of those games against Miles?
No, we have Lemoyne comes up here next Saturday. No, we go to Lane this Saturday. This next Saturday, next week. I don't even know what day it is anymore. We go down to Lane next week, and then the following week, Lemoyne comes on the Saturday, and then Spring Hill comes on the Monday.
Okay. So now Spring Hill in your division.
Yes.
Okay. And they're like new. This is their first year being able to play in the tournament. Right?
No, I don't think they can't play in the tournament this year. I think next year is the first year they can play in the tournament.
Okay. So that should be kind of interesting, I guess, with those guys coming in because they had been NAIA and had some success down in NAIA for a while.
Yeah, we just played there this past Monday. They're a tough team. And they're a real tough team.
Right. And I know it has to be tough too, having to travel from Frankfurt down to Mobile.
Yeah. Well, we stopped in Memphis. We stopped in Memphis first and played at Lemoyne, and then went down to Mobile. Played Spring Hill. We're supposed to come back early the next morning. Our bus was broken down, so that's part of the college season, part of the college basketball. But the guys, like I said, we have a great group of guys. They enjoy each other, so we spend a few extra hours together. But it was fun.
Okay. So, as we start to wrap this up, can you tell us a little bit about about your philosophy, and then also can you give a shout to those athletes who might be out there thinking about wanting to come to Kentucky State, but they still don't know anything about Kentucky State or what they should know about Kentucky State? Can you give us some words?
Well, first of all, whether you play here 2, 3, 4 years, you're gonna be here for a short amount of time. 4 years at the most, 4 or 5 years at the most. But you have 60 years after you leave here to live your life. So we're not just trying to win games, but we're preparing guys to be excellent husbands, fathers, entrepreneurs, employees. So it's bigger than basketball with us, and I think that's one of the things the guys appreciate. We just don't use them to try to win games for us. We trying to help to develop them for life. We build strong relationships with the guys, and obviously we need to win basketball games if we want to stay here, but it's bigger than that. And that's my philosophy. I'm gonna push guys. I'm gonna coach you. I'm gonna get on you if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you're not giving everything you have, it's not gonna go well for you here.
Right.
You want to have a good time. So all I ask is just give me everything you got. Represent the team, represent the program. If you have a problem, come to me, and if I can solve it, I'll solve it. If I can't, I'll point you in the direction that you can. Try to help you get it solved.
Right.
And like I said before, Kentucky State University is a great school. I graduated from here. Had the best time of my life here. Got my college coaching career started here. Met my wife here at Kentucky State University. Her parents graduated from here. My brother went to school here, so it means a lot to me.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, Coach, we definitely thank you for taking out this time after, because it is kind of late right now, but you chose to stay to talk to us tonight. We definitely appreciate that, and we do hope that you're able to get that seeding that you're looking for, and great success for the rest of the season.
All right, thank you.
All right.